Welcome to a special report from the Only in Miami show. You can find us at www.onlyinmiamishow.com. For this broadcast and for the duration of the events, we've set up a website, www.venezuela.us. That's www.venezuela.us. That tweet wall will show your tweets, your replies, and our tweets as well to support this discussion. This is the Only in Miami show special, hashtag Venezuela SOS. Freedom is not free. It is the obligation of those of us who are free to speak out when people in other countries are deprived of their basic liberties. In Venezuela today, people are unable to peacefully gather to protest the actions of their governments seeking redress. In Venezuela today, people are unable to walk the streets safely. In Venezuela today, people are unable to get the basic supplies of life because their government has squandered a mass of riches equivalent to that of a Saudi prince or beyond. That is why freedom is not free, and that is why we must speak out tonight on this broadcast, because the English language media is unaware of the situation in Venezuela, which I attribute to some very unique factors. There has been significant intimidation of the media in Venezuela recently. CNN was kicked out on Friday before being allowed back in. The Miami Herald's Jim Wiss was kidnapped for 2 days extra legally by the government of Venezuela, only to be later released. These acts of journalism, intimidation, cramped freedom of speech in Venezuela. And in fact, freedom of speech is a figment of the imagination in Venezuela, where the government controls all modes of broadcast. Recently, the government cut off the internet to the western frontier areas, leaving more than 1 million people without communications to the outside world. Nobody really knows what's happening in those areas. Right now, there are student protests in Caracas, very much driven by a almost runaway inflation that I calculate to be at roughly 300% annually, even though it is calculated much lower by official sources. Tonight, we're going to hear from several guests of importance. In no order, you are going to see Alessandra Simeoni, who created the video, The Venezuela Situation in English, which has had over 2.7 million views on YouTube. We will have political consultant J.J. Rendon, who was advisor to the last opposition campaign by Capriles in Venezuela. We'll also have Jared Goyette of the Fusion Network. He is their online editor, and we'll be joined by Erwin Arriata Valera. He is the former oil minister of Venezuela, the chief technocrat in the government from 1994 to 1999, who was dismissed by Mr. Hugo Chavez in 1999 and exiled from Venezuela in 2007. This is the